from the Denver Broncos Media Center, welcome to Broncos Country Tonight with Ryan Edwards and Benjamin Allbright.
Welcome to Broncos Country Tonight, and we are thrilled to come here and talk about the Broncos' 30-16 win over those Dallas Cowboys. And Benjamin, you said you'd take the Broncos on the money line, didn't even need the points. I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about that one.
I'm feeling fantastic about it. It's not that
you dressed for the occasion, I noticed.
Look, it's not that that I'm out here that I'm always correct. One time I thought I was wrong. Turned out I was mistaken. But no, it was a great win. It felt like Broncos country's got to be happy right now.
Oh, certainly. And it was dominant, really. Something we wanted to see from the Broncos all along. We knew they were capable of, but I didn't know they'd be capable of it in the way they had to do this. Listen, you're starting your seventh-round rookie along with a guy that got here about a week and a half ago at outside linebacker. You're down at one point 3 offensive linemen. Actually, I think upwards of 4 when Dalton Reisner went out for a little bit. So you're missing your starting offensive line. And again, you're also missing some key players. Pat Surtain went down. The way they did it was the most impressive thing. It's not so much that I didn't think they were ever capable of it. I just didn't know they'd have to do it with these kinds of players. Well,
yeah, the next man up. And, I got to be honest, if there's anybody that comes out of this looking incredible right now, it's got to be George Paton. Mm-hmm. I mean, George Paton has cobbled together this roster, brought in, and it looks like every move he's made is turned to gold. Baron Browning's playing lights out for a rookie. Kenny Young looks like a revelation at inside linebacker. Jonathan Cooper's coming in saying, draft Von Miller's replacement, I'm already here.
Quinn Miners out there.
Quinn Miners is out here road grading people.
Yeah. Javonte Williams has broken more tackles than any running back in the league. In fact,
more than 12 teams have broken in the NFL. If he could just stop getting stuffed on short yardage situations, he'd be great.
Why do you have to throw that in there? Why can't you just enjoy this?
Because I see better out of him. I see the potential. I mean, everybody says that I'm dogging Javonte. That's not it. It's like I see the greatness, and I'm like, why can't you just be great all the time? Why do we get to the goal line, you get stuffed twice, and we got to sneak it in with Teddy? Why does the skinny quarterback get across, but you can't? Like, that's the part that I'm like,
Yeah, 17 carries for 111, 6.5 per carry.
His best game as a Bronco by far.
Yeah.
All the way around. You look
Pastor Tan has been having a great year, and again, you're right. Every move seemingly
outside of Fuller, every move that.
But even Fuller, he got a game ball.
It was one of his best games. I mean, maybe we haven't seen enough of Mike Boone. I'm trying to think, what's the worst move that George Paton's made? Signing Mike Boone, who we haven't seen enough of yet. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, even the Von Miller trade netted back a quarterback haul. Now all the talking heads are talking about how the Rams got ripped off.
Well, I mean, the Broncos are 1-0 and the Rams are 0-1, but
Von Miller went to bed 7-0 or 7-1, and he woke up 7-2.
The Broncos played a complete game. They played a complimentary game. They dominated time of possession over 41 minutes in this one. And you kind of saw early on, they got that fourth down stop on the defensive side. The Broncos offense didn't do much then, but again, the Broncos defense did another stop on fourth down, and it just sort of clicked. It was just like, that's what this team kind of needs. And in some ways, you could look at those as turnovers, as bonus possessions for the offense. And I certainly felt as though that the whole game plan that this team kind of orchestrated this thing working together. The only thing that really didn't work was special teams, but again, under these circumstances, that you can live with that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't live with the special teams hiccups. You can't live with Brandon McManus missing field goals like that. You can't.
I said under this circumstance.
But you can't, though. You can't live with that. Like, that's the thing. Because if you live with that off of a win like this, then you turn around and allow that to happen in games where you can't get away with it.
I'm not too worried about Brandon McManus, but blocked punts, and then they had the big kickoff return off the beginning. Off the bat,
right. And oh, by the way, I mean, we're glossing over it, but this is another first drive where this team didn't score.
Oh, I know.
Just another one. Pat Shermer's got to get that remedied.
Yeah.
You've got a game against the Eagles, an easier opponent. You can't look at it as an easier opponent, but it is.
More than anything, though, you said it. I mean, what this win represents is an opportunity, maybe a springboard, but it doesn't mean very much if you lose to the Eagles. It doesn't mean very much if you come out of the bye week after that and you fall flat on your face. You have to take advantage of momentum swings, and the Broncos were in a swing the other way just recent with the 4 games. I mean, capped off by that Cleveland Browns game where Case Keenum beat you of all quarterbacks. And so, that's the thing about this game. Very impressive. The run game, I thought Teddy Bridgewater. I love the movement with Jerry Jeudy where they're moving them all over the field. I thought that was fantastic. Defensively, they were good against the run. They were brilliant against the pass. There were a lot of drops, but whatever. It doesn't mean anything if you lose to the Eagles. It doesn't mean anything if you go on a losing streak after this.
Well, right. And it's interesting to me because a lot of the people that are, that do the typical naysaying stuff after this are all like, well, the Broncos won one. Actually, they've won 2 in a row, dude. How about that? If you go and beat the Eagles, now you're 3 in a row going into the bye. All of a sudden, your things are really looking up at 6-4. I mean, the Broncos are right in the thick of the division hunt.
Oh, I mean, every team has 5 wins right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every team in the division has 5 wins. So, there's 2 teams that have played fewer games that you get the half game deal. But
it comes back to something we talked about on Broncos Country Tonight all week, and you can find those podcasts at broncoscountrytonight.com. It's something we talked about all week. We said that internally, they were not tanking. Internally, they did not view this as we're punting the season. Mm-hmm. They had a belief in themselves, and Justin Simmons said, we have to show it. We have to go out there. It's all lip service. We have to show it out there. Mm-hmm. So you and I talked about it a ton, saying, I know a lot of people are just not giving the Broncos a chance in this one, but you and I talked about the quiet confidence that was brewing inside that building. Yeah,
we tried to tell you that there's a spark in that locker room because, Von, and it's nothing against Von Miller, but Von's style's a little bit different, wants to be goofy, wants to keep it light. There were people in that locker room that wanted to have a harsher sense of accountability. When I was talking to somebody else about this, and I was saying that when somebody bleeps up, they want to go bleep them up for bleeping up, and you can fill in the blanks there. And so I think Von Miller was like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have another Roby situation. We're not going to have, and so they deferred to that because Von Miller was the Super Bowl champ, and they kind of deferred to that more lax style leadership in the locker room. But guys like Shelby Harris and Justin Simmons want more accountability in that locker room, and they got it now. And now look at the results.
Yeah, it looked like there was a fire lit under these guys. And certainly also, I think for a young player, and a lot of these were young players that were performing, you get an opportunity to show something in a showcase like this game, and you go out there and you play with your hair on fire. And that's kind of what it looked like out there. It looked like guys playing as though this was a chance to really impress some people. And you're right. All of a sudden, in a remarkable sense, you might actually be a little bit better at inside linebacker. You definitely have a little bit better coverage ability there. Your pass rush did not look like it skipped a beat, really. I mean, you only got the 2 sacks, but you did get quite a few pressures on Dak Prescott. You're going to get Malik Reed back. You're going to get Bradley Chubb back. You're going to get some reinforcements. I think the only thing that really is a negative coming out of this game is really special teams we mentioned and the injuries.
Yeah, I think the main thing is the injuries, too. The special teams, it's been a sore spot all year. You've got to make a decision at the top. If it's not getting fixed, you got to make a decision.
Well, they had a good game in Washington. The Washington game, for all good, the ugliness of the game, special teams had their highest grade of the entire season for
but you've got to make a decision at the top. If it's not consistent, then it's not consistent. That starts at the top. And if you're reverting back after having a good game, that says that good game is the aberration and not the. So you've got to go back. You've got to make a decision at the top. You need to make it clear to Tom McMahon. You either get it fixed next week, or we're going to find someone who can. And that's the decision that needs to be made there. The other thing, the injuries, you can't help that. No. Injuries are random. There's nothing you can do about that. But you can, control the things you can control. And it's past time that they made a decision on special teams.
All right. Looking forward to more breakdowns this week. The Broncos have one more game before the bye. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll have more breakdown on that later on in the week. For Benjamin Allbright, I'm Ryan Edwards. Thanks for watching Broncos Country Tonight.